It's hard being the new kid or in a new place. Going back to school, work, or going to some place for the first time can always make you feel, well, out of place. On today's episode of Brief Brain Facts, we're taking a look at a key brain benefit of having friends. And we also have some recommendations on how to make friends yourself. Regardless of if you're from a society that emphasizes the individual over the collective, the truth of the matter is that human beings are what's considered social animals. In that, we rely on others for our survival. You may not realize the benefit of developing a close group of friends, but the lack of having a group of people creates the feeling of social isolation, which in turn can produce physical and psychological health problems. Negative effects exist for not having friends. For example, researchers have found that social isolation not only increases one's motivation to seek social contact, but also creates a state of threat hyper-awareness, meaning people who are lonely are more likely to see threats in others where no real threat is present. And this can create a vicious cycle of wanting to seek out others, but being unable to do so effectively due to being in an overly alert state of threat awareness. Also, social isolation has been found to disrupt sleep in college students. According to these researchers, social isolation makes the brain go into a mode of self-preservation. So sleep is disrupted and social threats are overly detected, which is an effective strategy for self-preservation in the short term. But if social isolation is a long-term state of being, it leads to problematic health consequences. One such consequence is increased levels of stress. The resulting stress of being in a new place or among new people, understandably, leads most to seek out social bonds or friendships. But the subsequent stressors of taking tests if you're in college, or performance evaluations if you're working, require long-term mediators to help reduce stress, without which could be problematic. For instance, young people exposed to chronic stress have also experienced long-term changes in their brain structures and functions. They also are more prone to things like depression and anxiety. Stress activates the hormone cortisol, and this stress hormone is controlled by the hypothalamus, which is located in the limbic system. Excessive levels of this hormone has been linked to depression and cardiovascular disease. It has also been associated with death of neurons located in the hypothalamus, thus reducing the hypothalamus's ability to control the release of cortisol, our stress hormone, more effectively. Luckily, the brain is much more plastic or capable of change than researchers once believed. This is good news, because as we all need that friend to tell us that our outfit looks really bad, friendships have been shown to be great stress reducers, thus resulting in a great brain benefit. In a study, researchers found that when presented with stress-inducing stimuli, neural regions associated with threat processing, the limbic system, were significantly less active if people were surrounded by friends. Similar studies have resulted in the same outcome. Thus, friends help reduce stress and also help our brain structures react to stress in a less toxic fashion. But we still have a bit of a problem. You're brand new to a place, or starting a new semester. You're going to encounter new people. How do you make these human stress reducers, or better put, friends? First and foremost, you may not make friends on day 1 or 2, but it will happen if you take an active approach. So just be realistic with your time frame. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are friendships. Another thing you may want to try is to actively make yourself available. In some instances, this may mean leaving your dorm room wide open or volunteering to start a study group. For example, when I went to my first Anthropology 101 class, I forgot to bring my textbook, which I only remembered needing when I had actually arrived to the class. I was a little bit early, but not early enough to make it in time to my dorm room and then back to the class. So right when I realized that I had forgotten the book, I let out an expletive and this girl laughed. But she also offered to share her book with me, and we've been friends ever since. She simply made herself available and was able to develop a friendship out of it. Another approach you may take is via social media. Many groups and organizations utilize social media, and you can find a specific group that interests you on various platforms. One of the better aspects of social media is the fact that you can develop friendships near and afar. So don't discount what social media has to offer. Finally, while you get the opportunity to hit a refresh button, if you like who you are, don't change for others just to make friends. That tends to create pretty superficial relationships. If someone doesn't like the fact that you talk in extremes, like about the eventual death of the sun, but you enjoy having those philosophical discussions, then you're probably not compatible as a friend. But trust me, there is someone else who would enjoy having those philosophical discussions about the meaning and purpose of life, and the eventuality of being forgotten amidst the grand tragedy of the death of our solar system. What? It's an interesting topic. Nevertheless, friendships come in a variety of forms, so you can have different friends in different places for different purposes, as long as you keep an open mind and be willing to share yourself with others. Ultimately, people need people. Social isolation can worsen stressful situations, making it difficult for the brain to regulate cortisol and accurately perceive social threats. However, friends can mediate stress by reducing its effect on you and your brain. So, if you find yourself in a new place, just remember, while you do need friends, take your time, use all of your resources, keep an open mind, and as always, be yourself. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. Leave a comment below and let us know how you've made a friend. As always, thank you for watching.